I know that's not a title you'd expect from me, but it's true. Sometimes. Traders who have a working system know that if something goes wrong, then it's a psychological issue. And those problems can be solved with the right approach and work ethic. We know this is true because there are these things called therapists, which is what I was going to be before I found out that the stock market existed and that I hated talking to people. Whether it's discretionary or systematic, the profound realization that you actually have something that works is astonishing. Yet this is only half the battle. A system can't work with bad psychology, but at the same time, the best trading psychology ever means nothing if you don't have an approach to the market that gives you an edge. It just means maybe you'll be less sad when you continuously lose money compared to the guy with a gambling addiction who just discovered options, aka me, 2 years ago. Please send me scratch tickets. An edge will be destroyed by bad psychology. Good psychology means nothing when there's no edge, and an inherently valueless system can create profitable traders. What? Let me explain. I promise I'm not going to be as brutal as usual. However, ignorant comments from ignorant people will probably make me obliterate you in a 5-page essay response as usual. Now, perhaps all technical analysis works specifically as a method of teaching you price action. It's not like it reveals anything that wasn't there already. It just reorients the way you process what's clearly right in front of you from a new perspective. I see price squeezing and think, well, it's gotta go somewhere here soon. You see the same thing and start putting a bunch of lines on there, or use one of your fancy smart money concept terms like, okay, price is actually quandulating adjacent to the defabricatorial destitulator, whatever. We're all doing the same thing. Yours just has bigger words. You're doing technical analysis, I'm not, but we're both somewhat arriving at the same conclusion, and one approach isn't necessarily superior to the other. You want to explain why it's happening, whereas I'm just watching it. Anyways, maybe this type of analysis only eventually works because after hundreds of hours, you begin to internalize on a non-communicable level information that can't be quantified. Of course, anyone without tons of experience would not succeed from this approach without it being from luck, because a bunch of lines on the chart have no inherent value, influence, or predictive power. If you disagree with that, good luck. Price did not go down because a triangle was there. It went down because someone or multiple people pressed the sell button, and we will never know their intentions unless they tell us. The intuition that separates your ability from the beginner using the same system as you comes from building implicit memory. This is the information that we aren't intentionally memorizing. The video in the top right goes over that, which is the most important video I've made so far. When you're a new trader and you're struggling with something like trading supply and demand, it's not because of psychological issues like FOMO, fear, or something else. Maybe you have some stupid entries or something, but that's not the fundamental issue. It comes down to 2 reasons. 1, you don't have the experience and therefore no intuition or ability to read price action, and 2, the system is flawed. Now here's where it gets really interesting, so try to contain yourselves. Anyone can watch a 10-minute video from your favorite course-selling YouTuber and learn how to identify supply and demand zones. In 1st grade, I was reading the Harry Potter books, so I'm pretty sure I could have looked at a big drop in price and drawn a supply zone there. Not in cursive, because I learned that in 3rd grade and haven't used it since, but I could have typed it or used regular writing. So how come the veteran and profitable supply and demand trader that I don't actually know exists, but I always say this for the sake of the argument, can make money while you and me from 1st grade can't? It's because the system doesn't yield an immediate edge upon learning how to do it. The system is just a method to learn price action, which was already there. It's the internalization of that system over months and years that slowly develops the part of the brain that sees what everyone else is seeing, yet it thinks things and makes decisions that separate it from everyone else. That system is just a filter or a perspective to learn through. So what the heck is the answer here? Should you stick with a system that clearly makes no sense when you think about how price action is the result of thousands of participants all taking trades for different reasons? With that being said, I don't know. Maybe. But for you to believe that your system has inherent value on its own is an entirely different conundrum, whatever that means. Just kidding. I know what it means because I double-checked the definition after I wrote it. If you're not understanding the points I'm making, try thinking. Drawing lines and writing long paragraphs has no influence over the market, and you will never ever know why price did anything, ever, unless the people who moved it tell you. But that doesn't mean that your analysis isn't beneficial for you individually. Okay, I said it like that because it's in italics. Italicized. It's Italian. Maybe this is the way that you interpret what is already there. Well, there's no maybe about it. Price action is already, it's there. You're not changing anything by adding whatever it is that you do. Number 5. Unless it's an actual algorithm with no human input, the system you are using is mostly meaningless to everyone else because you're the only reason it works. That's me talking to the systematic traders who actually have something that works and are currently in the final chapter of solving their psyche in order to execute the system properly. That's not me talking to you who has a 2-indicator based system that doesn't work and you think FOMO is the issue. But hey, even though the tools you use are technically meaningless, they will be very meaningful and helpful to you as long as you use them as a way of internalizing and learning price action. Sure, all the important information to learn is there already, but if you want to think of price action in relation to how it interacts with a moving average, then go for it. Just don't make the false belief that the moving average has predictive power, or any power at all. A beginner isn't failing because of psychology, it's because they're using a system that doesn't work and because they have no experience. Yet, remember that a system with no value on its own can still be turned into a useful tool if used to internalize price action over time. I think a huge majority of people who think they're systematic traders don't realize just how discretionary their system really is, which may be partially due to them not realizing that the actual system only has meaning to them. All of us are learning price action no matter what approach we are using. If it works for you, then it works. Personally, I did random experimentation with no indicators or trading system, and I've made more progress in 4 months than I ever could have dreamed possible. Soon, I will be sizing up if I can continue to demonstrate consistent profitability,